Hello, dear friends. I hope you're doing really well. We're going to continue reading. We're going to start Deuteronomy chapter 2. But before we read, I want to explain something. Israel is about to cross the Jordan River to get into the promised land. They have to conquer the promised land. You just have to go to the battle, but God is going to give them the victory. But we're going to know in this chapter that the promised land is surrounded by other nations. Actually, the whole land is is filled with people, with cities, kings, kingdoms. It's not an empty land. It's filled with civilizations, different civilizations. But God has decided to give Canaan to Israel. It's His decision now. That land had peoples and cities and kingdoms already, but God's decision was to kick out those people and give it to Israel. That was God's decision. Okay, but even though some nations are gonna have to leave their land, that there's some other nations that God has decided to give them that land. For example, the nation of Edom, which Edom is Esau, that brother of Jacob, that nation, God has decided to that they can keep the land that they have. God is not gonna take the land away from them. The Edom has a land where they are, Mount Seir, I think that's the name. They're good. Okay, God has decided that that's their land. Also, the Moabites and the Ammonites, which are nations that come from the sons of Lot, those nations, God has decided that they can keep their land, that their land is their land is theirs for themselves. Moabites and Ammonites. So all those three nations, Edomites, Moabites, Ammonites, they keep their land. They're good. So that land is not for Israel. That land is for those nations. So they're good. But all the other nations in the Promised Land, the Amorites especially, and there are many others, God is kicking them out, and that's God's decision. So we're gonna quickly look at the map. I just got a map of the Promised Land, and see how the colors, that's the land of Israel. Even I'm surprised by this map, because even this land where it says Philistines there, that's also Israel, but they always had a hard time conquering that land. But that's, there's a huge history in this land, where it says Philistines. That's also Israel, but they always had a hard time conquering it. But that's their land, even there are problems even now. So now we're gonna see where it says that's the Jordan. They're supposed to cross and go to the west, but God has given them victory even on the east side of the Jordan. See where it says the orange, Gad, Benjamin. Well, although Benjamin is the blue, but it says Gad, it says Benjamin, and it says Reuben. Yeah, that land, that's the east side. God has given Israel victories where it says here Heshbon. See, that was a kingdom, but God gave that land to Israel. God gave Israel the victory over the king of Heshbon. Now here where it's the orange, this side the orange, see that was a kingdom of the king of Bashan, and God gave that land to Israel. Okay, and see how the neighbors, the Edomites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, those are the neighbors. Okay, and God has decided to give the Edomites that land. God has decided that the Moabites keep the land and that the Ammonites keep the land. Okay, but everybody else, God is kicking out. Okay, and we're going to read about that in this chapter. Also, before I go, all this land, all of it, the promised land, the Edomites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, all the land was filled with giants. Okay, it's really strange, but there were giants in the land. And each nation, the Edomites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, and Israel, had different names for the giants. They had different names for the giants, okay? They were giants, but they called them in different ways. Let's read. We're just going to read a little bit of Deuteronomy chapter 2. Now, this is still like a summary of the things that have happened. Okay. Then, Moses is speaking, okay? Then we turned and set out for the wilderness by the way to the Red Sea as the Lord spoke to me, and circled Mount Seir for many days. And the Lord spoke to me, saying, You have circled this mountain long enough, now turn north and command the people, saying, You will pass through the territory of your brothers, the sons of Esau, who live in Seir, and they will be afraid of you. So be very careful, do not provoke them, for I will not give you any of their land, even as little as a footstep, because I have given Mount Seir to Esau as a possession. So Esau, the Edomites, have their land, and that is Mount Seir. You shall buy food from them with money so that you may eat, and you shall also purchase water from them with money so that you may drink. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all that you have done. He has known your wanderings through this great wilderness. These 40 years the Lord your God has been with you. You have not lacked a thing. So we passed beyond our brothers, the sons of Esau. See, remember how Moses and God is calling the Edomites brothers of Israel. Let's not forget that, okay? So we pass beyond our brothers, the sons of Esau, who live in Seir, away from the Arabah road, away from Elat, and from Ezion Geber. And we turned and passed through by the way of the wilderness of Moab. Then the Lord said to me, Do not harass Moab, nor provoke them to war, for I will not give you any of their land as a possession, because I have given Ar to the sons of Lot as a possession. The Emim lived there formerly, a people as great, numerous, and tall as the Anakim. Now, this is the Emim, were giants living in the land of Moab previously, many years before, okay? The Anakim was the name of the giants for Israel. Both Anakim and Emim, they're giants. Like the Anakim, they are also regarded as Rephaim. Now, Rephaim is a strange name because it's related to death. It's weird. It's like living dead or something. But Rephaim is also a name for giants. Okay, Rephaim, Anakim, Emim, they're all giants. Okay, they're also regarded as Rephaim, but the Moabites call them Emim. The Horites formerly lived in Seir, but the sons of Esau dispossessed them and destroyed them from before them and settled in their place, just as Israel did to the land of their possession, which the Lord gave to them. Now, let's not forget the Anakim, the Rephaim, the Emim, and the Horites, they're all giants. The Emim lived in the land of Moab, the Horites lived in the land of Edom, and the Anakim and maybe Rephaim, they live in Israel previously, you know. So they are all giants, and these are different names that these different nations have given to the giants: Anakim, Rephaim, Emim, and Horites. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there. Hopefully, just a second, just a little phone. Hopefully, we can continue tomorrow. Bye bye. No, not tomorrow. Next week. Bye bye.